We are alive and walking home right now, possibly walking into a storm. But it don't really look that way that much, judging from the sky. It'll be a long 4 miles, but we'll make it. Today was a pretty busy one. But yeah, it has come to a close, and now we are on our way home to take care of my babies, and then live stream to any of you good folks want to hang out on YouTube there. After that, unsure. Once I get done drinking my delicious Fuji and hydrating after work, I will likely open up one of the books I got with us. Unless, of course, it rains, in which case this stream will end. I'll put on a poncho and I'll march the 4 miles home without y'all's fun company. Sad as it will be to not have y'all's company. Yeah, strange weather we've been having, eh? I was very close to not streaming, only because Hannah just went live with a really cool Sovereign Citizen stream. She's breaking down a really crazy nutbag fellow. And I'm kind of sad I'm missing it, but I'll catch it on the repeat. Besides, if I missed out, how would y'all get to see the fun route that we walk home? The route, I'll remind you again, Cartersville thinks that is perfectly safe for folks to walk. Poor little squirrel friend. Yeah, we tried not to get his picture in the picture. And the wind is kicking up. I hope it ain't making a shit ton of noise. Wind is kicking up. Well, I'm not really sure what to talk about on this particular route. Other than, as always, today ain't so bad. The wind would be a whole lot less muggy and unpleasant if people would plant more trees and less of this nasty shrubbery here. Yeah. Up. Hey. I mean, I guess if I hum and or sing, it isn't violating anyone's copyright. I don't know. Y'all read, well, I guess without putting the article up, it's hard for y'all to read the article I'm talking about. Apparently, according to the, not Guardian, I think it's the Press, something. It was one of my Google suggestions from this morning. Apparently, they've now made it regulation that if you're a commercial driver for like one of these big rig companies, you have to pass an English exam. And I think this shit is just stupid. I mean, let's be clear, it's racist and stupid, but on its face, it's just wasting money that could otherwise go to helping people. Oh, there's 8 of you now. What's up, yo? Adrenal Bell, I'm just walking home. I took the Google map, put in the safest route home, and this is what Cartersville and Google considers a safe route home. I don't really own a vehicle, so how's it going, y'all? Hello, your guy name and Caleb Townsend. So I'm just walking home. Come join me for my fun-filled, super safe walk home. At least according to Cartersville and Google Maps, the super safe walk home today. Don't fret, I do this at least 3 to 4 times a week. It's also why I give small product reviews for things like my boots. Bought a pair of boots off Amazon. First pair lasted on this route about a month. This is my second pair, and I'm hoping it lasts longer than a month, because I work in fast food, and that's kind of why I don't have a car or a means of transportation outside of my own 2 legs. Hydrating, excuse me. I mean, in a bit of positive news, I can actually call myself an artist now in my head. One of my coworkers, not for a pity buy, but because she liked the picture, I gotta put it in a frame, but is purchasing the butterfly short that I placed on here. Paid me a whole $5 for it. I'm quite proud. Yeah, it's not big money, but it's good money. And that's money that I got through my artistic talent. I'm quite happy about it. And now here comes the danger fun part. Oh, there's still 3 of you. How's everybody doing? Yeah. See, legally and according to the manual, driver's manual, it's advised if you're a pedestrian to hike into traffic, not like into the road into traffic, but like into traffic so that they can see you. This allows the drivers to make a more human connection with you, and ideally, they won't run you down. Ideally. Remembering that I did get hit once, just not on this road, thankfully. Unfortunately, Chad, if you're typing anything, I can't read it at the moment, as my eyes, as you can probably imagine, are on this road. As if I were to fall, it's a bit of a ways down. And all of that is thorns and or poisonous. So if I go down, whoo, buddy, is it going to be unpleasant. At least we have some fairly nice drivers. I guess that's something you can thank New Jersey for. Hey, I'm not knocking anybody, give pedestrian a kind heart here. Because, you know, this route is not always the safest. But when it clears out like this, it's pretty nice. We will cross over up ahead because, as I frequently show y'all, watch one of my previous live streams for that. The route up here kind of narrows to almost where I have to walk in the road, and I just ain't about that life today. Go for roll. And then there's my friend, the safety grabber. Yep, just a random metal bar waiting to catch anybody driving through. Where does that go? Who the hell knows? It's been there since I've started taking this route. About every once in a while, I shake hands with it just to see. And then we have the ankle busters. Yep. When you ask why my legs look the way they do, I don't always dodge them. Sometimes they get lucky and they catch me right in the oochie ouch spot. Not today though. Today I got good lighting, and honestly it's about 82 degrees right now, which is very unpleasant, but it's a drier heat than normal. So while it's 82 degrees, it's not like a sweltering, I feel like taking my clothes off heat. It's more like a pleasant a pleasant sunbonnet will do the job. Also, in case you hadn't noticed, got to toot my own horn, I just juiced it up a little bit. And before you ask, no, it's not an actual bird skull. I ain't that metal, fam. What it is a plastic bit from the Michaels, as well as 2 other little metal bits, also from the Michaels. Long ago, when David had a vehicle and we would go there regularly, last Halloween, well, I should say a couple days after last Halloween, I checked out the White Witch section while it was on sale and picked up a variety of beads and little knick-knacky fun things. Unfortunately, I hadn't had a use for them till now, and now they've been put to use. I've got more to add to it, but that'll be done later. As soon as I get home, I'll be working on a frame. And then I'll be putting this picture together, I reckon. And if y'all like, you can come with me for the experimental frame and then for the actual one. But anyway, check out the route. Whoop, that didn't do the thing. There we go. Check out the route. And I'm assuming the one guy I've got is probably David. But how y'all doing? We about to cross just as soon as it's safe. Well, maybe not just yet, because it's still not safe behind me, I'd be willing to bet. But we will cross right there where that gravel is, and then take that path all the way over. I already tossed out my biscuits to the turtles at the bridge near work. And I got chicken, and Miss Donna made a special treat today. She took some leftover biscuit dough, or biscuit breader I should say, and mixed it up real nice to make us some blueberry bread, and it was really, really nice. I got about 2 big crumbles and some of the dust left off of it. I plan on making a delicious meal out of that. Hey, any science guys out there? Can y'all tell me where my little crick here be bubbling? Because I'm gonna be stuck here for a second. Because I don't ever remember seeing it bubble like that before. And that's a lot of bubbles. If I didn't know better, I'd say somebody had done thrown some soap in my river or something. But the bubbles are too sparsed out to be soap. So, what the hell is going on in my river, zoological inclined people? I'm curious. I don't know. And I'm certainly not going to climb down to that right now. Because if you can't tell, that's a little bit of a ways down. A little lot of a ways down. That's okay. I was going to cross. It doesn't look like I'm going to get that opportunity. Looks like we're going to have to hardcore this. In other news, once I get home and once I take the dogs out for their walk around the yard and pick up I got a couple little chores to do. But after that, I scared the turtles. But after that, we shall probably get on Minecraft. More than likely, it'll be Minecraft or Assassin's Creed. I'm sort of bouncing between the two. I kind of want to do Saints Row, but and before you know, if you notice a little black thing in the road, that is not in fact a dead animal. I wouldn't make y'all see that. I try to be very careful about that. That is actually a bit of plastic refuse or garbage. I'm just not going to risk my life for plastic, you know? And that is a very dangerous little spot. Mostly because once we get past this little point where that spot is there, we have to make a decision to commit to this bit or to cross. Because crossing where those little green tree things are there, yeah, that's also a culvert or a cutaway. So we're gonna go for it. Let's give it a shot. That way I can also show you this over here. Because with the grass being fresh cut, it's rather nice. Well, it's nice enough to get to walk out a little bit further from the road. Because it's another one of those big old drop downs if you mess up your step and footing. It's a decent little fall. I wouldn't recommend taking it. But you can see, it's either that fall or we play a fun little game with traffic. I don't know if you'll be able to see the cars as they pass, because they go quite fast. But for sake of these lovely people's privacy, let's just look at me for a bit rather than the space around us. Yeah. It's not the best route, I'll say, but it isn't that bad compared to others. And there is one other route that I could try to show y'all, but then it goes from about 4 miles to about 20. And no offense, but after 9 hours, I love y'all. I don't feel like walking 20 miles after 9 hours. So we'll take this route, and if and when Zoe can finally come out and hang out, I will show y'all the whole 2 hots and a knot with park trails. Because I've already picked out the parks that I want to walk in, but I haven't quite got the trails yet. At least not picked out exactly. Because one of my knots is definitely Osborne Park. Not because it's a bad park, it's a fine trail and it'd be great for like high school students, track stars, folks like that. But it wouldn't be so good for like old folks, people with old animals, people with any kind of like sensitivity to heat. Because unlike these routes that I walk, there is no tree cover at Osborne Park after you leave the initial tree cover of the first part of the trail. After that, it's about 5 miles of solid sunlight like you're walking on a football field. And we about to cross, and we're checking, and we're checking, and we're running, and we're running, and we're running, and we're safe, and we're safe. I try to be as entertaining as I can for y'all because I get it, I'm just walking here. Yeah, but I thank anyone who likes, I thank anyone who subscribes. Looks like I ain't got a lot of either of those yet. Sad face. I should have got on here ranting and raving. When I rant and rave, I always get lots of likes. It's fine, y'all. Like I said, not every day, you know. But yeah, I got to sell one of my paint. Well, I was saying painting, it ain't a painting. What it is Sao Color, S-O-U. I believe that's a Chinese off-brand of Prismacolor, because the pencils are the same. But I about burned through one of the cheaper, because here's the thing, y'all. I don't know if you know colored pencils and stuff like that. I did not realize I was totally up my nose. I'm sorry, I thought that camera had flipped. Here, there we go. That's better. That's how it should be. As I was saying, I don't know how many of y'all like use colored pencils on the reg, but Prismacolor is one of those really, really high-end colored pencils. It's always been expensive, but now they're like getting too expensive for me to try to get. They're about $1.90 to $2 each, or you can get packs for $20 to $30. But to be clear, you can get the same thing from a Sayu Color, and a big cardboard container of them like I got was about $16, and it holds all the colors, plus it gave me silver, gold, brass, and a couple others. If you've seen the shorts that I do with the colored pencils, or the pictures that I've colored, and when I go out to show you the colored pencils as I do it, the ones that are just black with the little colors on the tips, those are Sao colors. I hope I'm saying that right. But all in all, if I'm going to recommend a product, I would recommend those. Because again, they're just as good as Prismacolor, but way cheaper. One thing I would say as a negative, the cheaper does come out, my guess is in the type of wood they choose to use on it. Because as I sharpen it, I wish I had learned it before I about destroyed the silver pencil. But you basically sharpen it, and then take it, cock it to about a 50-degree angle to 90-degree angle. You just, you get it to where the pigment, I guess, for lack of knowing what the little waxy bit of the pencil is. But you get the pigment on the pencil sharpener, and then you just barely turn it to finish sharpening it. If you sharpen that fucker like you would a Crayola, oh, you're gonna have a bad time. Hold up, or I'm about to have a bad time. like I said, not everybody can stick to the 2 lines. Maybe it's not their fault. Maybe the van's just too big for them to drive. Either way, let it not be said that I'm not showing y'all the safest way to walk. Because right now, for safety's sake, I'm just going to hang out here until possibly that white van or possibly that truck, depending on speed, it's going to be the white van, passes. It looks like this kindly neighbor mowed his grass finally, which is very pleasant because if you watch the last ones, this ivy gets quite slick and hard to walk on. Again, it's not really their fault, you know, it's like a milk or a soap plant almost. It's a lovely plant, but when it mixes with this ivy here, it basically feels a bit like you're walking on ice. And now we come to the challenging bit of the walk, because we're leaving our lovely shade behind. And this is when the hat really pays off. Because my oh my, did this part of the walk used to be taxing. Now yes, there is a possibility for safety's sake we could go down in the field. And honestly, I might do that just because it looks like they've already processed the field. You see, I'm guessing they collect the majority of their money either from owning lads or owning something. Because back like 5-10 years ago, this entire field would be like full of baled hay. And I mean like super full. I'm not saying they don't got baled hay now, but if you notice, it's not exactly ripe and riddled with it. Okay, we're about to cut through. I hate to be rude to this owner. I'm not going to damage, as you can see from the stream. I will not be damaging anything if I can help it. But I am going to stick safety distance from the road. And I got 1 viewer. Hello, 1 viewer. And I got 1 like. I highly appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know what I'm doing right, but I thank you very much for tuning in. I wish I could give like better points. Right now I can explain to you that being down here is a little bit better than being up there, because being down here, I'm able to pick up a slight bit of breeze from the river. And with my tree cover up there, I'm guessing, not an official horticulturist or nothing, but I'm guessing from the shade that's giving a little bit and the coolness off the river, it is noticeably cooler down here than up there. The only thing I know for a fact there, like take it to the bank scientific, is heat rises, and that's the high point. But yeah, it's not a bad route. Not after you know what you're doing. It is a mite lonely, I'll say. I've seen a total of like 2 other people on this route in the entire 2-3 years I feels like I've been doing it. Probably not quite been 2 or 3 years, to be honest. Oh, hey David, I thought that was you. It's going well right now for the most part. I'm hydrated. And you cannot imagine how crazy I look when I'm doing this. To put it out in front of the camera, I have to extend my arm fully. So it's like I look like I'm doing a weird little march with my bottle. Tell the truth, I didn't do much for it. Right now the line is streaming and it's streaming. I'm small potato. I will say, I got my hat fancied up. I managed to slap this together before I headed into work. See, I knew it hadn't been that long, but it feels like it's been longer. My legs get stronger. I have to resist the urge to itch so bad. Mostly because I don't know what I'm walking through, but I know it's leaves of 3 and it's spiky and everything in me says leave it alone until I realize it's just the patch that is the side of the road. This isn't a bad place to find walking stick material. If you happen to be in New Harley and you happen to be walking through, while I don't think it's bamboo, the stuff that grows by the road and through here is very adjacent to bamboo, both in the way it breaks and the way it hardens. It's not a bad plant for sticks or something else. I believe one of the people around here, or somebody's kid from around here, has been taking the bamboo and making little, not lean-to, but little, what you call them, fishing poles out of it. I've seen them down there near the river when I've thrown chicken skin and tendon in, as well as, you know, bits of meat. Anytime I have uncooked chicken, the river is typically where it goes as I'm heading home. Just as a helping to feed the catfish and the other stuff. Help give the fishermen something fun to catch. And it's free and just scrap food, more or less. Yeah, cane poles. Hell, I think that's basically what that is just cane. But it's not sugar cane and it's not bamboo, and I don't know what it is. Wow, that deer smell is wafting down here. For the record, because I know there's no way anyone will see it from here, so no risk of gore. The poor critter is literally right behind that yellow sign. I remember because I have to be very cautious to make sure the camera is facing me when I walk through there in the morning. And if I'm on that side of the road, which typically I am by that point. But yeah, I think it's clear they've already done the field. But long ago and far away, both sides of the field would have about double the amount of hay that this one does in it. I don't know if it's just bad harvest or if they haven't needed as much. Because this is the one field they got done up, and I mean, I'm not going to knock their hay bales. They're lovely bales. It's just not nearly as many as they normally have. And heck, I remember years and years ago, they'd have them balled and stacked along the edges of the field. But I guess those are happier times as far as the market goes too. You can't harvest what you don't plant. And you can't plant if you don't know it's going to be coming up. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a fairly quiet day. Front of house had a big ass argument that tore apart the entire, like, when I got done prepping, I had genuinely thought we had gotten hit by like a hard rush, both in the amount of dishes, the amount of mess, the amount of stress, to find out, no, we basically had a slow day. I don't know what happened up there. I tell the truth, I don't really care. It's not my business. I care in the sense that everyone seemed very upset and on edge. I take solace in, wasn't me. That's the only solace I can take in it is, it wasn't me. I was back there doing my prep, head down, shutting the fuck up, listening to a PBS doc on the Gilded Age. Can't tell you much about it because my headphone died halfway in, so I was listening to it whisper at me from the meat stabby machine while I processed chicken and such. But I'll probably start listening to more PBS docs, like when I do Minecraft and things like that as the background noise. One, because they're pretty easy to talk over. Also, it'll be somewhat educational. I don't have to worry about fact checking what's playing in the background. The challenge is just finding the exact programs I'm on. Because, of course, the first one that popped up was all about dinosaurs. And don't get me wrong, dinosaurs are cool. I'm not going to say they aren't. What am I, not a nerd? They're cool as hell. But I wanted to know more about like American history. So then I checked out Crash Course. And Crash Course actually has a whole thing on Native American history, which was really cool. And the teacher on that show was basically smashing Native American myths. And honestly, especially right now, given the state of the country, I would highly suggest checking out Crash Course. Just because if they're going to make the national parks sing a very white supremacist, whitewashed sense, I'd find the real history experts, because they're going to be the ones to tell you the truth about matters. Let's flip the camera, because I don't know what that is. Hey everybody, I don't know if that's roadkill, so we're going to focus on me while I walk past it. I will happily identify it as we walk by. Lord have mercy. The air is getting a little thick. Yeah, I'm glad I flipped the camera. Very glad I flipped the camera. Oh my Lord. Yep. That was a groundhog. That's gonna be someone's bad day. So we can add groundhog to the list of three raccoons, 3 turtles or more, 4 deer, and then an undisclosed number of bones. Oh, and 2 armadillo. That's the number of dead animals that whatever county or whatever's supposed to clean up this road has neglected to clean up off this road. Way to go. For the record, I did my job today. We can't say so much about the county now, can we? I will never miss the opportunity to complain because my county takes my tax money and feeds it into rich baby projects rather than actually improving the county or the towns. I'm the first one to complain that the kids can't read. First one to complain that the kids ain't keeping up with education. But you want to know one of the reasons why they ain't socializing the way they should? One of the reasons those social skills are fucked. Where are the third places? I had the arcade. I had the card shop. I had like a number of tiny businesses that were handmade for kids. And yeah, the comic shop sometimes had adults. Not much because we were in the South. But as opposed to, how it currently sits with the kids having nowhere to go. Yeah, of course, they're inside. They're on their pads. They're on the internet. And we all know how good the internet is for building social skills. I'm just saying, if we don't give people places to go, of course people are going to get shittier and shittier and shittier. I mean, heck, not only kids, but adults here have nowhere to go unless they want to pay money to go there. And I don't know about you good folks, but the money I just made off the art project I sold is probably going to immediately get funneled into needs. So it'd be awfully nice to have like a third place, a place to congregate, play D&D perhaps, enjoy ourselves. A place to socialize that is also ideally air conditioned, or possibly at the bare minimum have water fountains that are accessible and usable, not that are just there for show and that don't actually give out any water. The other thing is I would go back to what pulled us out of the first Great Depression, and I would tax the rich and the wealthy. I would basically make it to where whatever the living wage is, a little bit over that, and after you make over that amount, we tax 98% of your earnings. Hey, if you can't live on like a mill, that's on you. But I think as a society, we have far too many. Okay, I still got all my bits. We have far too many billionaires and not enough people able to survive the day to day. But again, that's me. I care about people. If I made $1 million, I'd spend $1 million of it on my community, make the community better and stronger. As opposed to, the current wealthy that want to spend all their money trying to hook up with children. I said what I said. Try to prove it wrong. Most Republican candidates kind of, got a bad habit of, I wouldn't trust them around my kids. Just saying. And then you got J.K. Rowling and anyone that's willing to support Harry Potter in any way. Congratulations. Now you're full on supporting bigotry and hate crimes. Considering the latest out the wire that I heard from her was basically she has said the new HBO show and all the money that goes to her, she's directly funding vigilantes to basically police women's bathrooms. And I hear some of you, oh, that's not so bad. That'll be good. They got guards now. Yeah. Unless, you don't fit the ideal version of a woman. If you're a particularly butch lady, yeah, you might get hurt. It's already happened. I'll remind you, the number of trans people that have attacked people in bathrooms, big old goose egg. Number of straight people committed straight-on-straight hate crimes, well, that's now gone up to about 4 in the UK, at least 3 in the US. And for the record, these are just people trying to go about their everyday life, and then some fucking Republican Karen get involved to save the children. Like I said, y'all, I'm just saying, when you look for the one who's causing the trouble, look for one that's spoiling for the fight. And again, go ahead, I'll wait. Name me Democrat candidates who had the sex scandal with children, because I can name Trump, I can name Gates, I can name Don Jr., I can name the fucking drunk Fox News host. I mean, literally, all you can't throw a binky in that fucking group without finding a diaper bandit of some kind. And I, for one, think we deserve a higher class of rich folk, personally. I'm much more looking forward to Bond villains and, barons to fight. Not goddamn monsters like that. But then again, if you want evidence they're monsters, listen to how much hate they have to people they've never even met. But yeah, I think we're past the roadkill portion of the walk, for the moment at least. So let's enjoy the sloping hills. Let's enjoy them together. Cartersville, I'd even settle for just a bench. Could you put in a few rest areas? Your park that you have planted at the edge of the retirement community at least has a few benches for the old folks to sit down and have a heat stroke on. Like I said, okay, good. The camera's actually turned around this time. Like I said, I'm not being that picky about it. It's more just, what does my tax money go to other than making sure our cops get ultra funding? But yeah, I don't like doing dead air. I'm trying to think of something else to talk about or show y'all. I wish I could pull up like little videos on my phone like some of the other streamers do. I guess if I'd had some picked out, or I'd had the chance to pick them out. Well, in other news, have you heard they're also trying to make crypto currently federally backed? So, I guess here very soon there'll be Walmart bucks. You'll have McDonald's dollars. Here soon, our country's going to get very, very stupid and so much worse. And I'm calling it now. And the whole reason it's happening is very simple. Nepotism. We let a bunch of rich assholes who don't have any idea how the sausage is made get in there to make sausage. And now instead of a delicious beef or pork product, we're getting shit wrapped up in rat feces. We're getting a terrible fucking concoction. And yeah, sorry y'all, that was a terrible concoction, but I couldn't think of a better example, you know? I'm a little tired, and currently we're walking through another patch of unknown mixture of vines. I'm trying my best to avoid any leaves of 3, while also making sure not to wander into the road, nor lose my footing and slide into the ditch. Again, just pointing out simply, this road has been like this for years, and they still got no interest in making it more hospitable to anybody living here. In fact, it seems like they've made it less hospitable. Anyone in need of a trailer? For $400, they selling a trailer there. And it looks like, unfortunately, the yard sale is over. They were having a yard sale at that house. I hope it went well for them. And look at me, and don't worry about the things ahead of us on the path. I will do my best to entertain and distract you. Aren't those some pretty trees above my head? I mean, there is the library. So, what day would you like to hike the 20 miles to get there? Well, that's being hyperbolic. More like 10 to 15. But we're going back along this route to get there. And it is 10 to 15 miles, it feels like. And there's the one in New Harley, but that one is, I know, at least 20 miles away. Because we'll have to avoid going on the bridge that would be like a 5-mile walk, if that. Less than that. We'd have to avoid that. And instead, go all the way to Taylorsville and go the back way near where Dynaflux and the other Dollar General, and I think it's called T&M Food Store. It's literally been years since I've been on that side. But yeah, there's third places. They're just inaccessible unless you have a car or money. Which again, that's the argument I'm having. I think there should be places that you can just get up and go to without killing yourself and have access to for free. Things like public parks, public rec areas. I think for every 3 churches, there should be a place dedicated to secular groups to just hang out. But again, I'm not a capitalist. I have a soul and a conscience. Well, maybe not a soul, but I got a conscience, and I got like a genuine care about my fellow man. So I make a piss poor capitalist. I'm not obsessed with money, and I don't obsess over how to acquire more. I mean, I do obsess a little bit over trying to find new and better experiences, but I mean, every day I ask the dozens of people in my life to come and hang out on a live stream. Just show up, tap like, say hi, and go if you don't got nothing else to do or you don't want to listen to me ramble. David is my primary and perfect audience member. He always shows up when he can show up, and he usually hangs out as long as he can. And for that, I will always appreciate him. No one else can bother to even show up to say hi. And I get it, it's just, you know, literally what could be more bare minimum? Log in, hit like, say hi, log off. That is too much effort for some. So it's like, I get it, but frustrating, you know? I would look at their stream for 5 minutes. There was a ladybug on that branch. Better a ladybug than a tick. Give us 1 more minute and we'll be able to flip the camera around. We just happen to have 1 more gooey deer to pass. Again, yep, there's the smell of it. Again, I can't tell you how awesome it'd be. Oh, yep, there he is. Oh, that's a beautiful butterfly, though. Probably got a scary-ass backstory to it, though. A black and blue looking monarch butterfly is doing something to the corpse. It was gross. But we're past those now. Just 1 raccoon to get past, and then I can flip the camera around. Ow, thorny fucking branch. We all good. Sorry for the loud noise. It hurt. I don't do well with getting hurt by bullshit. Hey, look at that. Yep. Flip. There we go. Look at that. Almost pristine, eh? Okay. Hopefully we should be past all the death. Now we just gotta, that smells lovely. Smells like burning tar. I'm guessing their car or truck isn't doing so good. Well, at least my vehicle of choice, my legs, are alright for the most part, eh? Pretty woods. And for what it's worth, it is a bit better here in the shade of the trees with the smell of pot smoke wafting from somewhere. Hell, maybe it's the smell of the pot in my system sweating out. Who knows? 'Tis a mystery. Outside of the lack of third spaces and the lack of other things, let's have a talk about the AI apocalypse. Y'all, it's gonna take real effort, but it is well worth the real effort. We should all collectively shun the shit out of anything AI based. And if they use the system of AI that is what it is to create things, we should further shun any studio doing it. Because as much as I would like to pretend like it'll go away, I thought NFTs and cryptocurrency would go away. I was wrong. It's getting legitimized. Now I'm sure it's gonna do nothing but devalue the US dollar further. But y'all know, I'm not a bank guy. I don't care that much about money to begin with. I just know those crypto ATMs popping up gave me a cold feeling in my chest. And not that I would ever, wink, want any police to utilize my footage to stop these speeding assholes and swerving assholes and various assholes. But if you wanted to use my footage, I mean, I couldn't really stop you either. I'm not really one of those, you can ask David. I don't always agree with the cops very much. Or ever. But when it comes to people acting a fucking fool, I like it even less. Because for the record, assholes like that one is why we have to have cops. If everybody could just do the right fucking thing without having the stick behind them, we wouldn't have cops. We could just be a good society. That being said, our society should be education based, and it is kind of fucked up that instead of making people better, taking that time and making an opportunity to make people better, we just lock them in inhumane conditions and punish them and hope that that'll scare them straight. That'll make them act right. And in the past 100 years, has that worked at all? How are them crime rates going? How's recidivism here in the U.S.? Meaning, how often are they leaving jail or prison just to go back? Bet it's more than in any of the places that educate their inmates. Bet we get more returns than anyone that doesn't have slave labor based on their inmates. How many other countries do slave labor based on inmates anyway? Or are we like the only one? We can't be the only one, right? There's got to be others. Then again, I don't know. It's us in Israel bombing the shit out of small children for fun at this point, it seems like. Like I said, y'all, I have to exist here. It's this or die. And I don't really care for the eternal darkness and slumber of peace. Not yet, at least. Still too many fights worth fighting. Well, if I'm still live streaming at 5 o'clock, Zoe might show up. Either that or she was saying she might show up by the house at 5, but I doubt that. Like I said, I'm just tired. But I can't sleep, I can't rest, and there's nowhere to sit. Only about an hour left of walking to do, and then I'll be able to take a sit. And the good news is, I'm getting better at using this single cell phone camera and flipping it back and forth. By the time I finally get the opportunity to go on the Appalachian Trail, assuming it's still there, I'll be able to film my hike real good by that point. I'll only have to take breaks when I have to charge the batteries. It's a much easier walk in than out, honestly. But it's mostly because the walk in roads are dead and it's quiet. I guess it wasn't so dead this morning, but they're deader than this. So my other question is, do you think that connects to the sod farm on the other side of this giant area? Because if it does, the one over by Dynaflux and all the places there, because if it does, I would love to contact them and be like, hey, can I cut across your stuff? Not like your field, but just take your road? Because then that would make it a lot easier to cut over, especially if they got a bridge over the river. But just to be able to cut over and get to, where the library is, where the civic center is, where the food bank comes once every 2 to 3 weeks, or something like that. We could actually get into U Harley proper if that connects over to the other one. It'll still be a long walk. It'll still be 5 or 6 miles unnecessary. But hell, 5 or 6 is a whole lot better than 10 or 11. I felt water hit my finger and got worried. But, excuse me, sorry about that. But looking up, pretty clear skies, I think. Oy, oy. That's it. We just marching along, making our path. The most dangerous part is past now. Now it's just walking through all the litter and debris and dealing with the loud pavement princesses. Still just empty field on the other side there. But I reckon it's sod that they're growing, so they basically cut it. Aww. See, here's what I need to do. I need to get one of those shitty little kayaks from either Tractor Supply or somewhere else, or possibly get a set of pallets and a few empty barrels and set up a little system down there at the cast-off area where the bridge is. I can string a line underneath the bridge, tie off to the line, and then basically use that to drag my little pontoon of sorts across. Then all it is stabilizing the tiny boat to where I can take paper products and food and various other things back and forth, and stabilizing it enough to where the locals can use it as well. Yeah, even as I said it, it's a nice dream, but it wouldn't last more than a day. Somebody would show up and cut my line. Somebody would steal my kayak. This is not a good place, y'all. That's all I'm saying. There are some good people here, make no mistake. But as far as like, oh, come visit Georgia. Visit. I would not suggest staying. And visiting sort of like, do you have to though? Because if you don't have to, I wouldn't even suggest visiting this shithole. It's a dead zone. There's nothing really good to do. If you're like me and you enjoy nature, there used to be a lot of cool shit to do. Nowadays, though, everything that would be fun to do in nature is privatized, or they got a fence, or they just don't got anymore. They cut down all the wild places to build little cookie cutter homes, most of which I don't see any people living in yet. But I'm sure they'll get in. I'm sure they'll get renters. It's not like America is building a surplus of luxury homes that no one can afford. And it's not like we're going into a recession right now. I'm sure the market will pick up any day now. Any day now, your average citizen will be able to afford a, what is that, a 3-4 bedroom, you figure? I see at least 3 back windows. I'd say at least a 5 bedroom. I'm sure the average American will be able to afford a 5 bedroom home soon. I mean, hell, don't all these people look like they're doing great? Like I said, the path is at least a pretty one, I'll say that much. If I should drop on the road, at least my ghost will haunt a pretty patch for a bit. At least until the state has its way and this gets turned into just blacktop or some gaudy little shit box house. I miss art, y'all. I miss when there were, I mean, again, we've never had souls. You can dissect a brain and a body, and you can tear apart every single teeny tiny part down to the micro cell, and you will never find the soul or the soul molecule. But that feeling, you know, that home feeling. I've been searching for that forever, it feels like. And short of found family, I don't think I'm ever gonna find my home like that. I wish I could. But hell, part of my home wouldn't be full of fucking fascist cunts that support Trump. Part of my home wouldn't be full of assholes. Most importantly, not to be mean about it, but it sure would be nice to have people that want to play D&D. More than just the thought of maybe doing it one day, but actually, yeah, let's do that thing. Let's make a plan. Let's set it. Like I said, I dream of better days. Oh, that's nice. I hope that she's doing better at least. That'd be a nice place to sit if it weren't full of poison ivy and spiders. And if the fire hydrant was comfortable to sit on. Oop, and I didn't drop it. And then there's that place. Just another mosquito pond. A breeding ground for West Nile. Seems like Anna's stream's having a lot of fun. Discord's been going off. But we're making it just a little bit further and we'll be at the car field. Little bit further and then we'll be home. Had to break the 24, a soda and a Coogee, but I still got enough for a liter, yeah. Also, just saying, I don't know how I feel about Vizzy Pop no more. I like Vizzy Pop, I like the creator. I still love their sense of humor. Hell of a Boss proved that with their 5-minute short. Because it's like they got me, y'all. They got me. Blitz and Luna have to kill this. I want to say he does children's content, but he also runs like a bunch of orphanages. And literally, there's one sus thing that he says that tripped a fucking flag in me. But outside of that, I'm like, well, hair dye exists. My hair is orange, so I could see a 70-year-old having a Geppetto mustache and short hair and it being orange because it's dyed. But either way, Blitz and Luna went above ground to kill this guy. Quick 5-minute mission. And it turns into, oh, but he's actually a nice guy. And Luna, having a bunch of trauma, being an orphan herself, she grants his last wish, which is to say bye to all his children. Which turns into this about 3-minute montage of him just going to what almost seems like random guys and ladies until finally Blizz's like, wait a fucking minute, how many kids you have? Oh, well, even though I've been married for 75 years and loyal to my wife, we could never have children. Okay, then who the fuck have we been visiting this whole time? Well, I'm sure as you can imagine, not every orphan gets adopted. So anyone that doesn't get adopted, me and my wife adopt. And we've helped out a lot of people over the years. And then he and Luna sit down on the bench and he's looking at the sunset and he goes, ah, what a lovely sunset. I wouldn't mind dying here if you will like. And they sit there and it's starting to idle up the music. It's getting real. It's like, okay, where's the joke? This is just sad. What the fuck, Vizzy Pop? I don't want to watch just the trauma show. And then she goes, well, there's a part of me that you wouldn't like. Oh, I'm sure I wouldn't mind seeing that part of you. And Luna turns into her werewolf self, to which he looks and it's like mesmerized for a second. And then he screams, which scares her and gets her to shoot him in the leg, which then makes him scream again because owie. And she shoots him in the calf of the other leg. So he falls off the bench screaming. And Blitzo comes around, don't worry, Looney, I'll save you. And he just bashes the dude to death. And like I said, maybe there's a broken, sick part of me that found that hilarious. But just the way it played out was so... I like it and I find it funny. And I like Vizzy Pop for their dark, brutal comedy. Here's the other thing though. Frosted Flakes has characters from Has Been Hotel on them now. So how can you be both indie and literally on cereal boxes? Literally, I don't think you could be more serialized than being on cereal boxes. Oh wow, I got another viewer. What's up, David and extra viewer? How are you? I'm fine. Melting a little in the Georgia heat, but otherwise fine. And I have a lovely bonnet that still has all its doodads on it. I actually find that surprising. I was expecting to lose at least one of the little metallic bird head beads, and I'm happy I didn't. But I'll need to secure them more. Also, David, if you're still listening, my plan with the frame is to cut the cardboard to size on the sides of the picture. One solid piece for backing. Take that good high-end glue, glue the piece to the cardboard on the back, like flatten it out, let it dry real good. Then take 4 pieces of cardboard, fit it over top the other side, and like glue some of the garnets or the rhinestones. Rhinestones is what they are. Well, that's nice. I fed them this morning too. They're getting fed a lot, which is fine. I don't mind having fat and happy cats. Just letting you know I fed them this morning too. Oh, but we've been going about an hour and 7 minutes now. Do us a favor if you would and like the stream. I know you have, David, and I appreciate it. Subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content. This is not all the content I do. This is actually some of the dullest content I do. Typically, I do video games. I do sketchbook stuff. I do coloring books. I do random things for the most part. Like I was saying at the beginning of the walk and kind of got distracted, my plan eventually, when Forget-Me-Not can come down, ironic name, but when Forget-Me-Not can come down and remembers me, we're going to do 2 hots and a knot, meaning if I can manage it and if she can take the walking, we're going to try to do the Pine Trail, which is up behind the Hilton off of I-75, I want to say. Assuming it's still there and not been, torn down, repurposed, or privatized into something else. But assuming it's still there and good to use, we'll go on that one as a definitely hot, good one. And then I was going to try Dillinger again as a hot, good one. And then the 2 knots, I was going to do Osborne Park and the River Shoals Trail. Just both of them together, since technically they are... It's 2 parks, but it's one gigantic loop. And I can break down more on those routes, what makes each one ideal versus terrible. Like this route, I would call this one about a middle ground. By the way, that's the power plant, y'all. For the record, to get to the city hall meetings, I would have to head that way all the way into town, past how far I normally go to work. About that 4-way that I go across and typically cut afterwards, I'd have to then cut back from there to go to Taylorsville, go to that power plant more or less, because it wouldn't be within miles of it, but I'd go towards that power plant to cut around it to go to the city of Uharley proper. And that, I personally feel, is a little fucking ridiculous. Especially considering on a city budget with actual workers, you could have at least a lean-to rinky-dink Appalachian Trail style bridge set up that people could go across. If they cared. Yeah. Well, as long as they can still have room for some of this chicken. I did not throw out all of the fried chicken tenderloin. Well, it's not tenderloin, but it is chicken tendons, deep fried. So I hope they saved room for that. Also, I brought blueberry bread. There's not much of it, but there's enough to make an all right snack, possibly with some tea. I don't know why I was just showing y'all the grass. It was lovely grass. I recommend everyone touch a little grass every now and again. But these are those beautiful rolling hills of Georgia. Typically by this point in the morning stream, I'd be on that side of the road walking in, and y'all would be seeing this from the opposite side. But we're almost at the top of the hill where I typically do the scrolling. This is that car field, which twice a year actually gets used. Outside of that, I mean, at least sometimes you get to see pretty deer when they haven't all been hit by asshole drivers. Well, I'm sure they haven't all been hit, but there's been enough of them hit that I don't care for this walk as much right now. It's just depressing is all, y'all. I mean, at my heart, I'd prefer the wilds. And yeah, I bitch about not having a sidewalk. For the record, I wouldn't mind having to hike through field if I didn't have to hike next to a hot-ass piece of asphalt. The hike wouldn't be so bad on just field walks if it weren't for the constant impending risk of somebody swerving and hitting you. That's just me, you know, mindlessly complaining about that one. Is I hope one day this gets to someone with enough power to actually make a difference. For me, I'm just going to be like, hey, these are the nicer, more scenic looks. Forgive, I'm taking a swig. Not sponsored by, but Gucci, delicious. And coconut milk, a milk I can have without getting sick. Boy howdy, I wish I could have lactose sometimes. Yeah, I can have it, it's just, there's a price to be paid. Hooey. Soon we'll be to the next spot of tree line and it won't be so bad. Until then, boy howdy, it's bright out here, ain't it, y'all? But yeah, 'tis just another day. And in other good news, y'all, the boots are holding up good still. I would hope so, since it's only been duck under the whips. I would hope so, since it's only been 2 days. But they're holding up good still, no breaks. They are not exactly waterproof, but they are water resistant. And having walked without the little shoe booties from work on, they're starting to dry out. So I'd say they're more breathable than waterproof. But still not bad. And my pickled feet will be all right by the time I get home and get them off. Oh. The inclines, y'all. The inclines and the humidity. At least now we're in the shade again. Oh, yeah, it's turned around. At least now we're in the shade again. And just look at all that beautiful space. Enjoy it while it lasts. Because, yeah, I might bitch about them only using it for cars. But I'd rather see this than another city skyline. Another auto parts store. No, the gas station they put in up near Ingalls disappointed me. Because I was really hoping for like a racetrack, a pilot, something that has a good kitchen in it. Don't get me wrong, JoJo's Market has a pretty good kitchen. And the one up here next to the Chillum store has a home-style barbecue. But like as far as just the rotisserie style taquitos and delicious hot dogs and mid to good corn dogs, they don't have any of that kind of stuff at either of the others. And that's mildly disappointing. And I mean, how many more cookie cutter gas stations do we really need? I mean, they all sell the same vape and CBD products. They all sell the same scratchers and beer. So how about we get some mixes in there, you know? Then again, maybe I'm complaining needlessly again. Honestly, it feels like small potatoes compared to some of the problems the world's being faced with right now. At least this part's not so bad. The wind cutting through those trees up the hill almost feels a little bit cool up there in the breeze. But alright, y'all. This is about where the video picked up this morning. David, I'm almost home. Just about to take that last stretch. Excuse me. And I should be at JoJo's within the next 30 minutes, I'd say tops. Be home very soon, hopefully. And we will sign off once we get past this little bend here, I reckon. Like I said, y'all, it was a bit of a shorter one, but genuinely, I kind of want to catch the tail end of Hannah's stream. And as much as I would love to do a let's walk all the way home with me, I know I have enough enemies that I don't want to show y'all exactly where I live at. And that's not to be that I'm dramatic or nothing. When I say I have enemies, I have really lazy ass enemies. I don't want to show them where I live at for fear they'll vandalize or harass me. But they're not going to like seek this out and watch hours and hours of data otherwise. So I know someone out there would have the skills to put together what I've said so far and what I've walked so far and figure out where I live. I don't think I have any dangerous enemies like that. Most of my enemies are just pathetic. It's kind of a good thing, I guess, you know? You want incompetent, pathetic enemies. You don't want the enemies that have the, you know, skills to pay said bills. I don't know, y'all. I'm trying to be funny in the last few minutes. I will, like I told David and one other strange viewer, happy to have you here. Please like the stream if you wouldn't care, or you wouldn't mind too. Either way, I thank you for showing up. Give me about, I'd say, an hour, maybe two. Just because when I get home, I want to try to walk the boys and possibly Alice if she'd be into it. I'm going to splash a little bit of cold water on my face from the sink. Possibly get a cool beverage and maybe change the litter out on the cats. And then I'll be getting on to do a live stream. David, if you were going to watch a DVD, I'd suggest go ahead and getting it going now. That way you can probably finish it in the time it takes me to get home, get everybody taken care of, and do the litter box. You got those new DVDs? I know you're looking forward to watching them, and I don't want you to have to miss out on them. Either way, y'all, we'll see you here in a little while. Give it another 2 days and my eyebrow will look less weird. And we were at 79 subs last I checked, assuming I didn't lose anybody. We should be at 100 soon, and y'all get to see what my hair looks like. I know it's a lame thing, but you know, I'm doing what I can. I'm not going to show you nudes, and I don't think you'd want to see them. Y'all be good. Take care of each other. Remember, above all else, community is the most important thing right now. And we will catch y'all here in a couple hours for the live stream to PlayStation. Y'all be good. Bye now.